Hey guys, I'm your niche coach Alicia Lester, and today on Get Your Shit Together, we are going to talk about good grief. Grief can be something tricky, but I need you guys to first go and click subscribe because I don't want you to miss any of this. Okay, I don't want you to miss any of the videos. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go and follow me on all social media platforms, everything except Twitter, honey. I don't tweet. I don't have the time or and it don't have the space for me. But I do want you guys to follow me on Facebook, Alicia Lester, Brima, Niche Coach, Niche Coach on Instagram, and author Alicia Lester on Instagram also. So make sure that you guys are tuning in so you're not missing anything. You can always go to my website, niche-coach.com, so you guys can just keep up with what I'm doing, keep up with what everything that, just everything I have going on. Tongue-tied, sorry. And also you can tap into some of my coaching packages if that's something that you would look forward to, something that you feel like you might need. You can always inbox me and message me if there's something on there or something that you feel like should be on there that you don't see. I always tailor make my packages for my clients, so just kind of let me know. All consultations are free, so you can feel comfortable and know that you're in good hands. But I wanted to talk about good grief. So I called it good grief because June 7th, my mother passed away from COVID. It's not okay, but it will be. But at that time, when my mother passed away from COVID, I had friends. I knew other people who'd had family members. A really good friend of mine, her father passed away, actually the day before my mother passed away. And it just seemed like it was never ending, okay? It's like COVID just kind of came through, knocked on my mother's door, and just took her away. It was the craziest thing. So before you can, I don't know if any of you have ever lost someone extremely close to you. Not like a cousin or auntie or somebody that had other family members that was able to, get their things, their affairs in order, but you personally. Now for me, it's myself and then I have a brother. We are 9 years apart. He's older than I am. But when I tell you, before you can even grieve, there's business that has to be handled because it's still a business, okay? Coming in this world is a business. Leaving this world is a business, right? I had no idea what we were in for. We'd never done this before, not at this level. We'd helped out family members and things like that, but never having to speak directly to someone and continuing to repeat yourself by saying that my mother is deceased. My mother is deceased. Thank you. My mother is deceased. I'll get those items to you due to my mother being deceased. She can't. My mother's not here. She's deceased. My mother will not be returning because she's deceased. My mother no longer will bank here because she's deceased. You can turn off the utilities because she's deceased. I will be taking over the estate because she's deceased, right? You see how many times I had to say that? It was like never ending. I didn't even understand that I was saying it so much. It started rolling off my tongue with everything that I had to say and with everything going on. But while we were going through all of that, going through her paperwork, and my mother had her entire funeral planned out, guys. 66 years old, and she had her entire funeral planned, all to the T. Crazy. You would have thought that mom knew that she was going. Some say, that's true. Some don't. I'm not sure. But when I talk to the mortuary, I go in, myself and my brother. Now, being the girl, of course, there are some things about mom that I would know that brother would not know. So he let me handle some items and he handled other items, but we were able to collectively come together and make it happen. We had this plan ever since we were little kids to make sure that everything was done and done properly. We killed that part. We did it. We just wasn't really ready for the emotional side of it all. But as we go into the mortuary, I'll never forget, the man pretty much, they knew that's where mom was going to be. That's where she was going to be at and all of that. Okay, cool. She'd already said that's where she wanted to go. So I gear myself up so I can go and pick out her casket. And the man said, Oh, you don't have to do that unless you want to. It is your decision. But she already had it planned out. She already had it picked out. Mom picked out her casket. She picked out the vault. She picked out the color. She picked out the flower arrangements. She picked out absolutely everything. She was not a flower person, so she picked out these plants. Guys, it was crazy that she'd already done these things. So then I say, okay, so we're done with that. Let's go to the cemetery. Let's see where she wants to, let's see what they have available, where she'll be buried at. So we're going to look for all these different plots. And then we go kind of double back, and the lady's like, oh, she already has one. Wow. Okay. We'll put her there. Next to her aunt, above her mother, on the side of her brother. You know what I'm saying? Like we got it all together. And I have to say first, before I continue with anything else, as crazy and as weird as it seemed that Mom had all these things already picked out, it made the grieving process 1,000 times better. I'm sweating. 1,000 times better, because we did not have to worry about the small things. Sometimes the small things can become so chaotic and so crazy, it turns into big things, or it can spill over into big things. My mother had already she told me over the years how she wanted things to go, how she wanted her service, all kinds of things. My mother knew everybody. I had no idea how many people my mother knew, how many lives she'd impacted, how many children she cared for, loved, and all that, including myself. I mean, it was just absolutely insane, the amount of love. It was overwhelming, actually. But again, we're going through all of this. My mother loves a party. We have family coming over. We have people coming over. People are flying in town. Her home became the designated spot during this time, so we are in and out, we're cleaning, we're picking up, we're trying to make sense of things. We're trying to divvy up her items as she wanted them. We are trying to make sure that things were donated as she wanted. It was crazy. Now, mind you, Mom just passed away June 7th. So we're still, doing some things, but our timing was kind of crazy, because myself and my brother no longer live back home, the state that Mom passed in. So we had to try to get these things done and still go back home to live our lives and continue, And so we're doing these things. But the reason why I call it good grief is because even though we had to do all of that, there were so many happy moments that I could find. Even though Mom's death was so sudden, there were so many happy moments that I found. So many happy pictures and just crazy stuff. I could hear things that she would say. I would go in certain rooms and I already knew what she would say once I got there. All of that. Grief will take you up and it will slam you down. It will keep you steady. It will spin you. Like it will keep you silent. It'll make you talk. It'll have you crying one moment, completely silent and cool the next moment. It will wake you up out of your sleep. It can be gut-wrenching, or it can be knee-slapping funny. Like that's just what grief does. So I say good grief because I don't want it. It's not bad. It's not bad. It hurts because the person is not there. But one thing I can say, if you ever, and I'm speaking for people that's older, I couldn't imagine losing my mother when I was younger. But when you are older and you are a good child, an obedient child, it leaves very little room for regret. Okay? Hurt, of course. Pain, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you want that person there in the flesh. But when you are an obedient child, you have very, very little regret. My level of regret when it comes to Mama passing away, non-existent. And that is because you have to do right by people, just in this life period. You have to do right by people. That way people understand and know that you have good intentions. More often than not, they'll have those same intentions when it comes to you. But how you treat them says a lot about who you are. My mom was so spoiled. She got absolutely everything she wanted, whenever she wanted. My mother worked her job for 44 years. For 44 years, she was on her job. She loved and cared for other people's children. She made sure they was transported to and from school safely. For 44 years, she's always loved children for 44 years. And so when I saw the amount of love, the amount of school buses that showed her love, because that's what she did. She worked for Omaha Public Schools, the transportation department, and her job, the balloon release, just everything. I had no idea. I knew how mama loved me. I knew how she loved my brother. Hell, I knew how she loved some people. I had no idea how mama loved on these students and on the co-workers and just people around the world, period. When I tell you that made me feel good, that made me feel so good, so good. But when you're trying to make sense of it all, I had some questions. Mom, did you know you were sick? Did you know, was it worse than what we thought? Was it something beyond COVID? I had questions, y'all. I had so many questions that I felt like were unanswered. That's what was kind of keeping me up at night. That's what was kind of keeping me kind of feeling like I was in a tough spot. And, but I don't feel like that anymore. I was able to do things to soothe myself and, and look out and seek some other advice and some other help and things like that. And it made me understand a little bit more the process of her death and what happened during her death and during her time and all that. But at first, you're just kind of like, you're annoyed because you're like, why though? Why my mom? And I always laugh because every time I see a post on Facebook about Betty White from Golden Girls, she's my favorite. But when I see that Betty White's ass is still alive and my mama is gone, that's a problem for me because Betty's ass is about 100 years old and my mama was only 66. So I felt like if anybody was going to go, I'm just saying, if somebody had to go, take Betty, leave my mama. That's all I'm saying. Leave them both if you can. But if somebody has to go, take Betty and leave my mama. I truly feel like that. But, it's life. But I want you guys to know that there's goodness in grief. You do not have to be sad. You don't have to be upset. You don't have to do any of those things. But when I tell you that it comes, it comes. After my mother passed away, I became so mean. Not on purpose and not to other people. But to the people in my home, my kids, I was so upset. You know why I was upset with my kids, my toddlers now? I was upset with my kids because they still had their mama and I didn't. Now, how crazy is that? Not mad, not upset, not hit them mad or nothing like that. But just I was very snappy. I was very moody. I was very, I just felt some kind of way. Honey, I felt like we all should be sitting here crying for our mama. And I heard my mama say to me, if you know my mama, then you can hear it too. I heard my mama say to me, I know damn well you're not mad and upset at my grandkids for some shit that they didn't do. I was like, well, I am. I'm mad at life. I'm upset. But I kept hearing her say, don't take that shit out on my grandkids. Don't do my grandkids like that. Don't do. And it was just like, if they kept talking or they kept yelling or they kept jumping and kept screaming, I'm just like, okay. And they're just like, ooh, all right. But y'all, I didn't know what else I didn't know. I did not know when I came upstairs. Let me tell you what I do. Let me tell you how crazy grief is. I got my mother's robe. If y'all knew the items of my mother, all I received, because I wanted. That's all I wanted. There was just small little things. My mom had so much stuff. Lord Jesus, it was so much stuff. But there were some few things that were very, very significant to me that stood out that I wanted. And so, of course, I received those things. And one of them was a robe, my mother's robe. And I knew because it had mama's smell on it. This is what grief does to you now, right? It had mama's smell on it. And that the smell of her, I never wanted to forget. I knew the type of perfume she wore. I knew what mama smelled like without the perfume. Like this robe had all of her in it, right? My little smell is fading away now. So it makes me feel some kind of way, but good grief, right? So I would come upstairs and I would get to myself. Now, this is me running upstairs before the kids make it up here too. And I would smell her robe. I would grab it and I would just smell it. And I had to hold it up to my face and smell it. And I would inhale so deep, I could feel it in here. But I would inhale like that because I just didn't want to miss not even a piece of her scent, right? And then I would let it go. And I'd go back downstairs and do whatever it was that I was doing. But every so often, a few times during the day, I needed that because I needed her. She called me every day. She FaceTimed me every night. We talked about these kids. She talked to the kids every single day. There's not a day that has gone by since I had the child. I ain't talked to mama this much when before I had these kids. Every single day since mama found out I was pregnant with these kids that she thought I was crazy for doing. It has been mama, 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 you know? So I didn't know what life was like without mama. Mama know what life is like without me. She knew that. I never knew what life was like without her. I never even thought about life without her. I never thought about that. She was too young. There's no way. There's no way in the world. And then if she was going to pass away, Lord, I thought it was going to be like cancer or something like that. Or, you know, no, child, it was COVID. And I couldn't understand that one because where the hell did COVID come from? But whatever. Y'all, I came back upstairs and I sat down on the edge of my bed. And I said, you will not take out on other people what you are feeling. You won't do that. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to your mama. It's not fair to you. And did you ever stop and think for half a second that when the time came and your mother was presented with going to the other side, don't you think she missed her mama too? Don't you think she missed her family too? And then I struggle with that because I'm like, well, they was already gone. But the same way I missed my mama, it's the same way I had to watch my mother miss her own mother when she left this earth. Y'all, that was powerful. That knocked me back because I'm like, you know what? And here you are given the opportunity to be these kids' mama and be all of everything that your mama taught you to be. And you mad because they jumping. You mad because they yelling your name. You mad because they still have the ability to say mama. I got up. Now, I'm not saying I don't be yelling and stuff anymore because I still do because they still keep jumping and stuff like that. But child, when I say I check myself at the door, I check myself completely at the door because they have an opportunity to be able to yell and scream and say mama and hug mama and love mama. And y'all know, and I'm so there. I'm so absolutely there. And I'm giving them every single thing that mama gave me. Everything that mama gave me. My daughter, she's so special. I know for sure she sees mama. And I know for sure she talked to mama. Now, this conversation it's going to take a little turn. Might get a little deep for somebody. Somebody else probably don't believe in this. But I see it every single day. I watch my daughter talk to my mother. And I know for sure she's talking to my mother because the little girl ain't slow at all. Okay? So I know she just ain't out there talking to herself. The conversation, the things that she say, it just takes me back because I know that this is mom talking to her. But that is because Bailey she's very, very open. And kids are the closest things to God. Kids and old people. One just left God, one going back on their way back to God. You know what I'm saying? So it's us in between that be looking crazy. You know, but I truly, truly believe that. I know that my mother is watching over me, and I'm so okay with all of that. I am. But I just want to let somebody else know that grief does not have to be bad, and it does not have to be depressing, and it does not have to be filled with anger and rage and things like that. I allowed my mother's passing to fuel everything that I have going on in my life right now. I have so many projects that I'm so excited for, that I now have the time, and I have the passion to do it. It's like I could hear my mom in every room like, go on, get that shit done. Go on, do what you got to do. Get your shit together. That's the name of the book. That's the reason why I came with all of this. Get your shit together, because that's the way she raised me. Hold your head up and get your shit together. Do what it is that you got to do. Make yourself proud. If nobody else is proud of you, make yourself proud. Yeah, I can't be mad at that. I can't be upset with that. I cannot. So if you have lost a loved one, if you are having a hard time accepting it and dealing with it, I can't tell you everything is going to be okay. I miss my mama every single day. Every single day. But I promise you it will get better. But you have to change your mindset. because she's not coming back or he's not coming back. Okay. So you got to prepare for this thing. You have to prepare and know that although they are not coming back, they still want what's best for you. They still want you to push forward. So don't pick up an addiction. Don't pick up, all these vices that you wouldn't normally have. Don't do that, because mama don't want to see you like that. Mama don't want to see you going through that. Father don't want to see you going through that, or anybody else. Insert your loved one there, whatever works for you. I'm just talking about my mama. And I want you guys to know that grief will send you through a whirlwind of emotions, but it does not have to be negative at all. Child, I hear mama's voice. She laughing, she cussing, she singing, she dancing. She's doing all of that. And I know she is. And like I said, it's only been since June the 7th. But I find the joy in today. I find the joy in every single day that I wake up and I'm able to be those kids' mama all over again. Because I could have checked out of here, honey. Oh, Lord, I thought I was going to lose my mind, but I did not. I didn't. And the same strength that I had when mama passed is the same strength that I carry with me today. And I know for sure I could have slipped into a depression. But I thank God for my helpmate. I thank God that my husband was like, hey, hold up. We're going to get this thing together and we're going to win. We're going to rock it out. We're going to rock it out together. We're going to weather this whole storm. And that's what we did. That's exactly what we did. And we did it together. So for those of you that have a loved one, cling to that person. Cling to that person. Allow that person to love you and be there for you and help you through this thing. Because I know it gets tough, honey. Sometimes you want to be so quiet. Sometimes you want to stand so still. Sometimes I go to sleep and I dream about mom and I be pissed off that I woke up because I want more of her. I want to see her more. But I have a lifetime of dreams with mama. I have a lifetime to go when it comes to dreaming about mama. Challenge, some days she don't even come to my dreams. Sometimes she don't even come. And I be feeling some kind of way because what the hell else are you doing, Deborah? That you can't come and hell. See me. But again, she loved so many people and she loved on so many people and they loved her. So I'm letting everybody else get their little time too, if that's what it is. But I want y'all to know that grief is real. No one can tell you how to feel. No one can tell you when your time should be up on feeling whatever it is that you feel. If they don't want to hear it, child, move around. If they don't want to see it, child, go on somewhere else. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about my mama. I'm going to talk about my mama because that's what brings me strength. That is what helps me day to day. Do you hear me? So I'm going to definitely do that. So I just want you guys to know, nobody can tell you your story. Nobody can tell you how to feel. Keep feeling it. Keep doing it. But keep pushing. Keep pushing. I'm not saying don't cry. Child, when we hang up this broadcast, hell, I look up sometimes and I just be about to cry. But it's not sad tears. They happy tears. They happy tears every day. Okay? They are happy tears every day. I love my mama, but I know for sure she loved her mama. So if that's where she's social, if she don't want on up there with her mama, that's fine. Because I know she's with family and I know she's safe. I know she's loved. And I know that she is making them all smile. And I know she up there in them people's business. I know mama is up there in everybody's business in heaven, honey, just going from one cloud to the next, just telling all they shit. I know she is, because that's what she did down here on earth. The way it is down here, same way it is up there for her. So I already know she is. But I thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk more about grief as the days and stuff go on. If there's anything else you would like to talk about or you would like to know, aside from this privately, hit me up. Send me emails, mynichecoach@gmail.com. You can go onto the website, niche-coach.com, and send me a message or check out some coaching packages and things like that. What else can you do? Social media. Child, I'm in Facebook jail right now, so I can't really do a whole lot, but I can check that inbox. Niche Coach, guys, just hit me up. I appreciate you all. Thank you for your time. Again, while you are getting your shit together, I want you guys to know that grief can be good. It does not have to be a negative thing. I thank you all for your time. Have a great day.